You had some examples of crash material here. Tell me about that. That we have a picture of it on the website.
Yes.
What are we looking at there?
Yes. These are aluminum pieces of the field debris that we had found with some of the locals here in Koyame. And I have to tell you this, I forgot to mention that Koyame, by the way, is still a hot spot. We have a number of people
things
that
are still going on.
Very, very interesting, very eerie.
You like sightings or
Number of sightings, UFOs landing on, they're out there in the ranches, objects being seen.
is there something about this area that would attract them that you could figure out?
Well, you know, he had mentioned, well, this is something interesting. You know, the Marfa lights aren't too far away. And
Yes.
the Chinati Mountains and
the zone of silence.
the zone of silence is
in that area.
very, you know, it's at Mexico's Bermuda Triangle. It's all within 100 miles of there.
What we can say, Jerry, is that it's a very out-of-the-way, isolated desert location where there's plenty of places to hide. If there are secret underground facilities there could be underground things. There's caverns there and places where you could hide things from any kind of surveillance, including satellite photography. Now, when Ruben and I went down there to follow up on the supposed crash in 1974 of this small plane and the UFO, that's when the villagers from the small town of Koyame took us out to the desert, and they showed us this field that was littered with the debris of a small airplane that had crashed there. Now, we don't know with 100% certainty that this is the plane that crashed with the UFO, but we went down there and we collected samples, which we've given you a piece of.
Right.
And what it recently on this last trip where we went, that was funded by the cable TV channel, Dr. Ron Milioni, who teaches at St. John's University and has a degree in electrical engineering and mechanical engineering, he went down with us, and he told us that the condition of that melted aluminum, which it melted under intense heat and then jellified into a solid state, and you can see it littered all over the desert. We gave you a piece of it. That is not the kind of wreckage that you would find in a typical airplane crash. In other words, there was intense heat generated in this. They bagged up many samples of this, which they took with them for further analysis. They took soil core samples. They tested the area for radiation. This was the thing that Ruben and I were very happy with, to actually do some, to have the funding to do some of these sorts of tests that we couldn't do on our first expedition. We estimate that there were that it was a squadron of up to 24 Mexican soldiers who were involved in the recovery effort. They had been sent out of the Army base in Ojinaga, Chihuahua, which is right across the border from Texas, and they had gone through the desert roads there north of Koyame and had found the crashed silver disc, which was about 15 feet in diameter and about 5 feet tall, and they had found that not far from the debris from the small plane crash. So they found the two sites relatively close to each other, and they gathered together all the remnants as well as the crash disc, which was virtually intact. And we'll talk more about the disc as we go along. But they gathered up all the pieces, and they headed back to their base. And that was when, somewhere along the way, the effects of whatever they were exposed to started to kick in, and the convoy of Mexican trucks stopped in the desert about midway back to their Army base, and then everybody, all the soldiers that were involved in the retrieval team for Mexico, died.